Ho ho, she's meant. We got fuel. We got fuel. What is going on, you guys? We're back with another video on the Austin Mini. Today, we're gonna be wiring up the relay for the fuel pump so that when we turn the key, we'll get direct power to the fuel pump, and we don't gotta, you know, jump some wires to turn on the fuel pump, because that's sketchy, and we don't want that. But first, we gotta move some stuff so we can turn the Mini around so I can have the trunk on this side, so we can have some good light while we're working on it. These wheel dollies are probably the best investment I've made in the garage because of how easy it is to move cars without having to turn them on. I think we're ready to go. Okay guys, look at how much space we now have to work in the trunk. So I'm gonna go through step by step as best as I can to explain how the relay is going to work and how it's gonna connect into the fuel pump and get power from the battery and be turned on from the ignition switch. So without further ado, let's get into that. Okay guys, so this is our relay. Came with a little mounting bracket, which is sick. We're gonna put this to use later. Our 4-pin set of wires and the actual relay box. So the reason we're using a relay and not just tapping directly from the battery to power and then putting it on a switch is because we don't want direct 12 volts. We want to have it on a switch so that in case something goes wrong, the relay, which I'm also going to put an inline fuse, will take all of the hit, and the rest of the harness in the vehicle does not get damaged. Okay, so I got a quick wiring diagram up here. So basically 86 is going to be going to your switch, your ignition switch, a custom switch you have, whatever you want to control the power. Number 30 is going to be going to the battery to get your 12 volts from. Number 85 is going to be your ground to chassis. And then 87 is to whatever you want to power. In this case, in my case, it's the fuel pump. I'll be wiring number 87 to the positive of the fuel pump. And without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, in simpler terms, this is going to the ignition switch. This is going to the fuel pump. This is going to get positive from the battery, and then this is ground. And when we put it all together and flip that ignition switch, this will get power from this. So let's get at it. So I'm gonna do a quick time lapse. I'm gonna mount up the relay to the fuel pump, run a couple of the wires, and then I'm gonna show you guys where I connected everything and go through it all. Okay guys, we're back and I've done most of the wiring, so I'm just gonna run you through what I've done. We've got the relay mounted up on this little bracket over here. We've got the positive going to the fuel pump over here. We've got the ground from the fuel pump and the relay. I joined them together, ran the ground wire up through here all the way to here, which I'm gonna ground it on the battery terminal. I'm gonna find another ground. This is not like the fine print. None of this is set in stone. I'm gonna adjust it as I go. And then we have the wire that gives power to the relay over here. We have an inline fuse, just in case anything goes wrong. We have an inline fuse. Then the power wire goes up over here, down, and then this is gonna go to the positive terminal on the battery. Then the only thing we need to wire now is the switch. So this white wire is gonna go through that hole. Let's open the car up. That hole is behind the back seat, which we're gonna run under the back seat, under the carpet, under this carpet, under the seat, behind, up into the dash, into the ignition switch. Where then when we turn the ignition, it's gonna send the power from the ignition switch to that white wire, which is gonna trigger the relay, which is gonna allow the power from the battery to go to the fuel pump, which is gonna turn on the fuel pump. So I'm gonna skip running that wire through the car, just because it's gonna be really hard to film in there. Plus it's dark in the car, but I will show you guys bits and pieces. Let's get into it. So I just wanted to show you guys what happens when we give this white wire power, because that's what we're gonna do when we're flicking the ignition into the on position and then cranking it over. So I just set up this jumper harness. So when we power up this wire, this white wire, it's gonna click. The relay is actually gonna click and send power from the blue wire to the red wire. Watch. And you could actually hear it click, which is really cool. That means everything we've done is working properly. Now all we have to do is go ahead and run that wire to the ignition switch so that we can control the power getting to that white wire from the key in our hand. Sounds good? Okay guys, so we just took out the back seats. So now we're gonna run the wire that's gonna go to the ignition switch through that little hole, down and through the carpet. Okay, before I put the seats back in, I just want to show you guys. So you can see I ran the wire through that little hole, down where the speaker wire goes, behind the speaker, under the carpet. I went through the side. Over here, you can see where the wire is. Over there, wire's over there. Ran the wire under here, up, over here to the steering column. I don't know if you can see that, to the steering column, up the steering column, and now it's here. I just got to connect it and tap into the ignition switch, and then at the back, that hole is right here. I'm going to attach the wire to the white wire right there. We should be good to go. Let's get back at it. Okay guys, so wiring's all done. We tapped into the white wire right there, if you guys can see. Let's get that good lighting. Tapped into the white wire right there. Wire goes down under the carpet to the back seat, all the way to the back, through the rear wall, to the fuel pump, to the relay. I explained all the wiring. Now let's see if she works. So I'm gonna turn the key and hopefully fuel pump turns on. Oh, I turned the key and fuel pump is on. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was another video on my dad's Austin Mini. Slowly but surely we're gonna get this thing on the road for him to enjoy, and we're learning, we're working on it, you know, every day getting better. And God bless to all of you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.